return, and in your wake, Dalentarth blossoms. The flow is rearranged, now and forever. Nash's brood is at an end. You have destroyed what was written, and made a new fate for Dalentarth. Even your darkest ally walks a lighter path. And yet the Tuatha still spread, marching with Prismeer and pain. You have only delayed our doom. You have the power of an immortal, and yet the humility to ask for help. Little one, I envy your grace. You shall carry my blessings with you. You must know this, Quickling. The age is changing. Immortals are passing, and the future belongs to the young races. If there is a future to be had. Go, and stand at the heart of the She. There you will find Issa, and perhaps you will find wisdom as well. Nash and her brood would have spread across Dalentarth and brought the taint of Prismeer with them. So it forever was to be, until you set about to stop it. Only the path of your own choosing. Stand at the heart of the She. And if that path includes the gardens of Issa, I shall allow it. May your path be long and evergreen.
Miralem, may your wisdom... What is it, my liege?
If only it cheers me to see you alive. What does it mean when all you've come to know is no longer? I will always have my healing, I suppose, but what shall become of the telling? Farewell, fragile one.
all must follow the peace edict.
Please leave me to my task.
Welcome to the Gardens of Issa, home of the Summer Court and the warm heart of the Feylands. It is a rare occasion for us to welcome a child of dust into Issa, but it is equally rare that Niralim chooses a champion. Pleased to meet you. I am Chancellor to the High King. I pray you enjoy our hospitality. High King Titarian is Lord of the Summerfey, the font of all our wisdom, and first amongst the immortals. And since Godflow tragically murdered the High King of the Winter Court, Titarian is the greatest and last true leader left of our kind. The sapling of the World Tree bears centuries of great wisdom. Of course, long-lived as Nirlam is, it is still regrettably mortal. Even all greatest mortal wisdom cannot compare to the perspective given by true agelessness. Begging your pardon, of course. We are the Summer Court, the very embodiments of courage, honor, and all things bright and proud. Some envious few in the Winter Court would call us arrogant and self-righteous, as well as all manner of other epithets. But remember, we are the ones who stayed true to tradition, while they turned to barbarism. The Tuatha find new recruits from our ranks. The ranks of the Fae were not always sullied by the presence of anything so coarse as the Tuatha. Once, the Summer and Winter Courts existed in harmony. But Godflow perverted the Winter Court with talk of his new god, and from that poison, the Tuatha arose. Too many mortals misunderstand the Winter Court. Our cold cousins are not evil, but merely evoke the darker truths of nature, from subtlety to decay. Perhaps it makes sense that children of dust are put off by those who embody their inevitable death, but it is regrettable that so many are misunderstood. Truly a place of wonder, as it has always been and always shall be. Here springs the life well of Dalentarth, and the greater Feylands in all directions. It is a pity that some of our kind have fallen to such degenerative states, but we cannot shed a tear for their weakness.
Yes, Your Grace. Please, come forward into the light of the font. Don't... Ah, fascinating. I had heard you are free to roam the city at your leisure, even the trellis and the understyle. If you seek mortal trappings, then Felltown will provide. High King Titarian fulfills his role as our wise ruler. He gathers around him the bravest and most gifted advisors, and together they make up the Court of Summer. Like his predecessors, Titarian's goal is to maintain the Great Cycle, and to keep the balance that has sustained us for all these many seasons. Farewell, my liege. As Usher of the Gardens, I am at your service, my liege. What information do you seek? It is a special district set aside for the young races. A haven, if you will. We encourage you to stay within its confines for your own protection. Do not worry. Felltown has the amenities that your kind need to lead a mortal life, such as merchants, a smithy, and a tavern for evening exploits. The gardens have been here since the first of our kind sprang forth. Only this is a safe place, and we intend to keep it that way. To that end, we ask mortals to adhere to the Peace Edict, which forbids weapons in the city. Every living creature in our world is part of a chain of death and rebirth, even the Fae. However, when we pass into the flow of our great cycle, we return again. The king rules from his throne high above on the font, and he has done so for many seasons. You should know this, since you've been sent to speak with him. Most mortals in Issa are stripped of weapons upon entering the city. However, there are a few exceptions. Ambassadors and guests of the Niralim. We do this for your own protection, of course. There is a fire in Dustling blood that must be quenched by violence. I've never understood it. The font is older than everything around you. It is the origin from which we flow. If you search for the heart of Summer Court magic, you will find the font. Once, the understyle was all around you, spreading from the garden's gates to the great trunks of the trellis. But that was before the mortals came. There is little that mortals need to know about the trellis, for it is where the worthy await their moment before the High King. Everyone who stands before the light of the sun must prepare themselves, lest they be blinded. It is behind me, up the great winding stairs. Goodbye, Your Grace.
Your mortal ambassadors will not be happy.
Oline will not tell you of this. She disapproves of pride. She does embody nature's tooth, a sharp and silent, simple truth. And yet Oline will always shine among the ballad's lore. For humble though her carriage be, a greater knight we'll never see.
Pretty evening, isn't it?
If this were my city.
I hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. It's safe, that's for sure. At least for the time being. I don't quite understand the Fae, but they definitely know how to keep a city quiet. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war, I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. What do I know of Fae politics? I didn't even know they had a city until Gwen and I were allowed in. All I know is that there's opportunity here. Sure, you want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwen a hand, mostly to get me into Issa. Now I'm on my own. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade, Fae blade, of course, that makes them authentic, something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway, Fae souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money. Fabulous, fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Issa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. She's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. Bring me something nice.
Welcome to the merchant's house. You are encouraged to satisfy your desire to acquire possessions. I do not understand it, but it is not for me to understand.
Nobody here but us law-abiding citizens. Get over here. We don't abide by strangers in Issa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the peace edict, you'll have to keep your voice down. It's not exactly the keys of Rathir, or even the hospitalis quarters of Odessa. But Felltown has its charm. If you find out what it is, be sure to come and find me. It's better than the cellar crawl space I called home just 2 months ago, believe me. The Fae may be grumpy, but they've got nothing on giant rats. You know, that neighborhood in the gnome city of Odessa where the poor live. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Well, technically, we're not supposed to. If you're on the market for something deadly, I'm your man. Not much to tell. Heard the war horn of the recruiters and packed my bags. Slipped out in the dead of the night, I did. What good is fighting when the Tuatha don't die? Besides, I'm a businessman. I got my hand on a pass into Issa, and the rest has been waterfalls and walks by the river. The dockside district in Rathir is a lovely place, if you're looking to have your throat cut or contract a nasty disease. Remember it next time you travel there. Okay, then. Issa is very tense these days. What with the Crystal War and magic, the Fae seem to revel in their ignorance.
Best goods in Issa.
Mark my words, the summer court will end its...
If you're looking to buy armor, I'm the only one in Felltown who's authorized to sell it. I'm Gwenna Hand, but my customers call me Gwen. I don't have many weapons to offer, on account of the peace edict, but... There's still a selection to pick through. Have at it. He's a dear friend from years ago. He spent time as my apprentice, but recently set out on his own. He sells authentic ritual Fey blades outside in the square. The Tuatha were intensifying their attacks against Mel Sinshir, the bastion in the east. Of course, that's just rumors. I pray they're not true. This is where the Fae keep us so we don't blemish their pretty city. Can't say I blame them. We're an unruly and ugly lot, mortals. Being here isn't good for business, that's for sure. I see the same damn 20 faces every day. But it's an honor for Britt and I to be here. Make no mistake about that. My twin brother and I were entering the army to fight for the Alpha when I'm not proud of running, but I'm much more useful here as an unofficial ambassador of sorts. Not everyone's a fighter. The Fae didn't have laws, at least not official ones, until we arrived. You must be one of the special exemptions. Let me guess. Ambassador? Scolia Arcana? Could be anything. Have a good day.
Don't trust anyone.
Need training? I'm taking apprentice. You've been watching me long enough. What is it? Did I wrong you in another life, brother? Farewell. Idle hands can lead one into trouble. The best way to keep busy is to learn a useful trade. If you're willing to spare the gold, I can teach you what I know. In this battered old skull is a lifetime of knowledge, and quite a few stories as well. I have no interest in this war between mortals and the deathless. It is a waste of life, and I have my own private battles to finish. It's as good a place as any, I guess. But after a while, people begin to remember you. And for someone like me, that's a problem. I prefer anonymity. Besides, could there be a better place to hide from this offensive war? The only weapons you find in a garden are the blades of grass. I don't care to stay in one place for too long. Felltown sounded like a good opportunity, and an even better hiding place. I can't say the peace edict has hurt business, but it's not exactly easy to train students in blacksmithing without weapons around. What you've no doubt heard is correct. I am the Holt Fren. I forged Bolgan's Bane of the Kaled Coast, and many other legendary pieces. My youth was spent as a mercenary, but I have since renounced those ways. Unfortunately, my enemies have long memories, and they aren't as forgiving as I am. It is an ancient Alfar kingdom far across the sea in the dense swamps of Clurcon. I once helped its great lords overcome a terrible Bolgan problem. Let the Fae try to stop me from carrying arms in the city. Weapons are my trade, my only expertise. It would be like asking a hen to stop laying eggs. Farewell.
Welcome to the embassy. You will see that every race has a representative.
Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Almain. We may be new to the region, but we are just as involved in matters of the Fae and the war. It is simply an honor to be here. We Almain are doing our part for the war effort, but there are plenty of other relationships to forge far from the battlefields. Like most of my kin, I have humble roots. My parents were both trappers on the Snaketail River, feeding much of Whitestone Village back before it fell on hard times. Despite my position as lead ambassador to the Summer Court, I am an outsider. There is bad blood between some of the races. As a result, I try to steer my own course. I do not wish to speak ill of other diplomats, but Ambassadors Keen and Brenner of the Alfar and Varani are plotting against each other, as if we need more deception. The Almain are new to diplomacy, but there are still several powerful titles available for purchase. It's your money, friend. Spend it wisely. See you later, friend. Aren't you bold? This is the Varani wing of the embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. I'm Ambassador Advar, he who bloodies the waters. I have served my people for 40 years, in war and in peace. Now I serve here, in the gardens. It is here where the important battles are fought, the Battle of Wills. I enjoy being this close to those I'm competing against. That's what this is, isn't it? A conflict in which we struggle to gain the ear of the Fae. As always, the Varani will triumph. I have lived in less hospitable places. The Fae may not understand what it means to be mortal, but they certainly have an eye for beauty. The High King knows why we are here, yet he does nothing. Our people die at the Titarian, and the Summer Court will know our anger, and they will aid us or perish. I don't have time for this.
Do you have business with the Varani? They don't deserve the breath I waste on them. There are powerful warriors in their ranks, but as a group they share no collective spine. They have no reason to fight. I do not enjoy this position, talking instead of fighting, speaking of the enemy instead of facing them, but I have a job to do, and I will do it.
I apologize, but one of my station has many
Welcome to the embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. What brings you to my chamber? I have no love for the other races here, if that's what you're asking. The Varani are coarse and brutal, while the Alpha are scheming and treacherous. The Allmain, well, they don't leave much of an impression, if I must be honest. I'll forgive them for their blandness. After all, they are so young. There's much to be gained from an alliance with the Summer Court, although I can't say I enjoy working with Fae directly. They're too set in their ways, too rigid. They've already grown and changed. The Tuatha themselves are a new breed of creature, a fascinating amalgam that should be explored. We have a unique interest in the Fae, but I cannot explain further. I will say this. Their supposed immortality poses a problem to all mortals. The scholars in Odessa have a keen interest in gaining High King Titarian's trust and cooperation. There's so much to learn from him. A flighty creature. During my audience with the king, he forgot my name not once, but twice. It was insulting. But did he notice? Never. I've had a long career as an ambassador with the Domus Politica, and as a clerk in the Grand Bursars. But the real work will be done out here, in the wider world. We find them endlessly fascinating, in their ambition, in their magic, and in their disregard for the natural order. We could learn much from such creatures. Farewell.
I apologize, but one... I apologize.
Have a nice... Have you noticed how the gnomes never seem to exit their branch of the embassy?
Then we must do what needs to be done.
Perhaps we must finally swallow our dignity and draw our swords. Quiet. We must not discuss this further in the open.
Welcome.
You must be the special messenger Targaryens expecting. Trust me, the rest of us have heard plenty about it. Erwin can't keep his big mouth shut. I am Methani Keen, Dokelfar ambassador to the Summer Court Fae. I'm sorry. This is a difficult position sometimes. Something is about to happen, and it must be stopped. But that is all I can say. This is neither the time nor the place. If you're interested in hearing my story, meet me in the worship circle after dark, near the gates. I will wait for you there. They are a council of Fey nobles that advise the High King in matters of politics. Not that they even understand what that means. To them, politics is just a game. Well, more of a game than usual. You understand my meaning. This is where the Fae hide us to keep us out of sight. I used to take offense, but I got over it. I wouldn't want to live near them. Strange things, the Fae. Issa is fine, and the Fae are tolerable, but many believe they should do more to support the war effort. It's unjust to live in peace while the rest of the world burns. I've met with him several times. I'll admit, he radiates a certain presence, but I'm less interested in charisma than I am in leadership. Not everyone is welcome up there. It's where the court of summer nobles spend their time reminding themselves of past glories. I'd avoid it. This is not the place. I will meet... Goodbye. Hello again. I hope you're not planning to depart. Goodbye.
Let me guess. You're here to buy a title. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. I don't believe the Fae see the Losselfar and Dokelfar as separate groups. They tend to view the world in strict... Sometimes working alongside the Dokelfar is difficult, but we have an arrangement. They adhere to their goals and methods, and we adhere to ours. You think I want to be here, stuck in this giant vegetable? Never. My mother volunteered me for this position, and I had no choice. I have a young soldier back home who waits for me. But can I be with him before he sails? No. I have to administer to the Fae. The war is the only reason I'm not still resisting my appointment. Something must be done. You know it as well as I do. The Fae must help. Who knows our enemy better? Do yourself this one favor and leave this place as quickly as you came. It's a den of deceit and malice. You don't want friends like these. Bye then.
Our days are hard petitioning the court, pleading with the High King. Whoever said an ambassador's life was easy?
Believe it or not, I'm here to help. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy. The Alpha are not only warriors, but the wisest of mages and scholars. If you embrace the arcane, then this is the title for you. I proclaim you the Muse of Fate. It's hardly uncommon. Consider yourself stripped. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy. This one is worn by our most secretive scouts and agents. It is a good choice. I proclaim you the Dark Hunter. Farewell.
Turn away, mortal. The Den of Night is meant for the impudent. Your entrance shall be denied. It is where the brazen and unrepentant are sent to consider that they are given time to reflect, and when they are ready, they may brave the beasts of the hollow to return to us here on the surface. It's a great privilege for mortals to reside in this, our most sacred dwelling. Try to deny your dustling impulses and resist from killing each other. My own telling has brought me here to the Gardens of Issa, to act as one of its guardians and caretakers. I'll protect it from any threat, including you. Avoid the Den of Night, Dustler.
Welcome to the Mortal Tavern. I believe they call it Asker's Alley.
Hi, how are you? Hey there, pretty. This is Asker's Alley, best tavern in Issa. Only tavern in Issa, of course, but you didn't know that. If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything about the style, the embassy, the Scholia Arcana, you name it. I know it all. We provide your basic public service. Ale. And if drinking isn't your thing, then you can always stop by the... Sure, we've got a place to sleep on the floor over there, but it'll cost you. Fine, it's up to you. Oh, if I had the finery and manners, you wouldn't find me anywhere but... But it's a dreadful place these days, what with the war. The Darkelfar and... I prefer the United Merchants delegation. Those are my people. So you want to brush up on your bad luck, do you? That game will do it for you, all right. Speak with Kali in the back. When Issa first opened, the Alfar approached the humans about creating a shared shop so people here could get their sundries. All of this was lost on the Fae, of course. Most of the United Merchants are good people, like Weistrin and Gwenna, but that blacksmith's apprentice, Britt Codgan, he's a leech. The Askers took me in when my pa was killed in the war. That's been nearly 10 years. Now this is my home, pretty. It's where you'll find me every day and every night. Oh, that's a sinister spot, isn't it? Even the Fae take a few extra steps to walk clear of there. Don't trust anyone in robes. Like I said, it's all magic to me. If the Fae said this city got its power from glowing purple antelopes, I'd probably believe them. It's the Fae neighborhood on the other side of the city. There you'll find the Hall of Appointments and the Lyceum Grove. They don't mind if you go exploring in the Understyle, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you know your way around. The Fae can be easily offended. Olana and her squire Brio, they have the good fortune to meet with all the nobles who visit the High King. A life of lords and ladies. Oh, that's the life for me. Let me just say that I adore Olana. She's one of the few Fae that I've met face to face, and she couldn't be more pleasant. Such a pretty one. Most of the United Merchants are good people, like Weistrin and... Is that the one at the far end of the Understyle? Yeah, I think that's the place. You see, the city gets its magic from the water. They call it the fountain. Or is it the wellspring? Bye now. Have you seen Lady Renray? She's more beautiful than I imagined. Have you seen Lady Renray? She's more beautiful than I imagined.
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. There's a brewery near Rathia that makes it. Very small, very secretive. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through. Oh, yes, sorry. The United Merchants Delegation. It's a coalition of traders that have been granted permission to sell their wares in Issa. I wouldn't say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them. I know better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the Almain approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Issa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. It's been in our family for 4 generations. Since our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been Almir the Bold was the first king of the Almain. He brought us out of lawlessness and misery. We've always wanted to name a drink after him. He spends his time in the Lyceum Grove in the understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? Don't drink any. See you soon.
Your mortal ambassadors will not give up. It is both admirable.
My liege. Oh, excellent. Another... Oh, a mortal. I don't think I could... Oh, why, you're the ruler of the House of Ballads. You wouldn't be interested in aiding a mere squire, would you? It is well beyond your station to do so, but, well, I face quite the... I am steward of the High King's List, and apprentice to the Lady of Receivership. Olanna will be so displeased once she finds out I failed her so. My role is with the Hall of Appointments, to prepare visiting ambassadors and dignitaries to meet with the Court of Summer. Right now there are 4 terrible, regal lords and ladies that wish to see High King Tatarian, but they are a fickle lot and require extra, handling. They must enter the font in a procession, but each has his or her own preferences, and I can't afford to offend any of them. Wonderful. That's one less aggravation that demands more. The dignitaries have been seen about the gardens, enjoying its many splendors. I will remain here and await your advice. Few dustlings ever make their way to these gardens. I believe... Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like to be called dustlings? I enjoy my role as steward, but my fear of Lady Olanna overshadows any pleasure I might find in the tasks assigned to me. She is quite critical. Well, I've never met him, of course, but they say he is quite incredible. as tall as a tree and radiating a great light, as though a sun burned within him. The birds sing to herald his glory. She is well suited to her role as the Lady of Receivership, as she enjoys judging the worth of others. She has assessed me as well, and I have been found lacking. Everywhere. Goronet is in the Hall of Appointments, but the others are all over the city. What a nightmare. Farewell, Honorable One.
We ask that you do not disturb.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the great font of Issa finds its source.
Oh, was that it? No. Oh, welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the fontmaster and steward of tinctures and elixirs. If you ever wish to learn, come visit. Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the... It may be difficult to... The understyle consisted of everything growing beneath the font. Now this important section of the Issa is but a dark corner, all but forgotten. I enjoy the mortal world immensely. It adds such texture and colour to our experience. Now and then you might find me in your dustling district, taking in the bustle. I am the steward of tinctures and elixirs. This is where we watch over the font, the source of magic in the gardens of Issa. The font's flow can be measured, directed, and even regulated, depending on the needs of our people. Fontmaster Nomeron attends to these duties. Fontmaster Nomeron insists that everything flows as it should, yet I have seen his worry, and I feel the magic weakening. He has the role of monitoring the font's flow throughout the city and the Feylands. His telling is not to be envied. Bristletongue, my, that would be something. A mockingbird with the font's only yield. Of course I will tell you where it is. What would be the fun in refusing? But before I do that, you need to offer me something. Isn't that how you mortals act? One deed for another? As steward of tinctures and elixirs, I often dabble in alchemy, especially with the water from the font. And I need you to drink this potion. Good. I will know what this does to the mortal constitution. Go on, big gulps now. None of that sipping. Farewell, mortal.
Hi, how are you? Need some chatter? I've got plenty to go around, pretty. Bye now.
You won't stay. You should come by town later tonight. That's when we children of the dust.
The House of Ballads must have taught you courtly manners, but not enough to keep you from interrupting. What is it, Your Grace? I am not petty, but I have limits, as do we all. I know I should lead the formation because of my position, but other, more tender individuals will insist otherwise. Whatever you do, do not make me walk behind the High Fae Mage Goronet. How shall I put this? He has an odor. If you value this position, you will make sure Lord Setter is not behind Huntress Hartwin. She finds him despicable, as do I. My only request is that Lord Goronet follow far behind me. He and his stink belong together. Of course.
Take a chance, win some gold. You look like one who enjoys a game of hexes. We mortals need something of our own here in Issa. Why can't it be gambling? If you don't know how, I can teach you. What do you want to know about me for? Is this some kind of Fae interrogation? Keep your curiosity to yourself, friend. Folks here have gold. That's enough for me. I don't care where I find myself, just so long as the people there are willing to pay. Not much to do here in the Fae City, but lighten your pockets and have a good time doing it. But I jest. You have a lucky look about you, stranger. You had a look about you. Listen. All you need recall is these 6 cards here in my hand. Ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5, and the hex. First, you start with an ante. What'll it be? Bold, I like it. Now, will the card I draw be even or odd? Yes! Oh. What's this? The hex. You lose. I knew I had you hooked. What's your ante? Bold, I like it. Now, will the card I draw be even or odd? Yes! And it's an ace! You win and the pot's yours. Good on you. I knew I had you hooked. Bold, I like it. And it's a 4. You got it. Now what's your bet? Feeling the luck, eh? Well then, tell me, the next card, higher or lower than the last? And the second card's a 5, and that'd be higher. Sorry, no go. Finished already?
I'll drink alone. Welcome to the Gardens of Issa, the last beautiful place in Amalur.
Presenting the blade in the shadow, His Grace the Doctor.
You are not meant to be here. Mortals have no place on the font. I am guardian of the court of summer and protector of the font. I watch over the most precious of the city's blossoms, including the rare bristle-tongue bloom. Its petals open once every few seasons, lifetimes for mortals such as you. But its seeds are potent and volatile, hence my vigil. The court communes in the building behind you. They are not to be disturbed, for their wisdom can shift the stars and clear the clouds. You are not to go near. I patrol the gardens near the font during the daylight hours, but must return to reverie at twilight, as do all my kind. It is a powerful communion between the Fae and the magic that sustains us. We come together in the evening hours to connect and to feel as one. Many believe that the font supplies all of the western Fae lands, the realm of the Summer Court, with their magic. Its flow touches all of us with its gifts. You must go now.
If you have any questions,
Presenting the blade in the shadow, His Grace the
You've got the seeds! Now we'll see if the Victor's Brew can stand up to a new challenger. I'll have a batch of Aska's draft ready before the week is out. Take this, friend. And like I promised, the merchants here will give you a discount. You've got a home here in the alley for as long as you like. Come back again.
bought a title yet.
Hey.
Hello. I await news from the Hall of Appointments, but surely you aren't their messenger. The ruler of the House of Ballads serves no one. Order? I care nothing for order. It is the others who insist on such foolishness and frippery. However, if you are the one who determines such things, may I ask that you place me behind the warlord Wenery? I enjoy watching her backside travel. It would be best if Garnet trails far behind Great Huntress Hartwin. Once at each other's throats, those two are difficult to tear apart. Remember, behind Lady Whinery. Always a pleasure.
Greeting. Idris Theonin has been managing the Scholia Arcana libraries for some...
Welcome to the Issa chapter house of the Scholia Arcana. How may I be of assistance? We are an order of magic practitioners dedicated to the fostering of knowledge regarding all things mystical and arcane. While the heart of our power lies in Rathir, we keep an embassy here in Issa to maintain strong relations with the Fae. The Issa chapter is but a small branch of our larger Rathir chapter in the plains of Erethel. We focus more on researching the magics of the Fae and Dalentarth than pure instruction. Despite Jorum's frustrations, the wild magic of the Fae can be channeled in the most extraordinary ways. It is a great honor for us to be granted a place among them. We are a collective of mages, and those that have a mind to unravel the ethereal phenomena of these Feylands and beyond. As a docent of the Scholia Arcana, my duties involve handling all tasks necessary for the day-to-day administration of the Order's affairs in Issa. Traditionally, our applicants undergo years of preparation, but we understand your circumstances are somewhat irregular. Ever since you entered the city, we've been watching you. After all, an endorsement from Niralim is not quickly dismissed. If it is your wish to join our order, you must first complete the trial of initiation. It is a ritual that will better equip us to understand what place you might have among us. I will not lie, some do not survive the ordeal. Of those who do, only a select few are chosen to become members of our order. Very well. Return to me when that time is the present. Farewell.
Well, happy to see an unfamiliar face. Scholia Arcana's close-knitted enough without being sequestered in Issa. Didn't know the Fae had cities, or whatever you might call this, until I came out here. I can understand why they wouldn't want to share it, though. I love the Order. Never felt more at home than among my peers. But I only wish there were more of us. If you do enough good works, the Scholia sends you to Issa. Apparently, they're keen on learning some of the magics of the Fae. Stop by again.
Don't know if we've had the pleasure. I'm the finest merchant in these... But I assure you, can't say that I have much in the way of magical ability, but I know trade better than anyone else here, and they appreciate it here. You can't just have a group of book-minded mages and expect the organization to take care of itself. They rely on people to look after the logistics, like me. When I first arrived here at the instruction of the Order, I was terrified of the Fae. They are nothing like us. Come back any time.
The Issa chapter is focused more on researching the magics of the Fae. The Rathia chapter is the true heart of the Scholia.
Damn quiet, damn fools. Ah, I'm sorry, friend, I didn't see you there. I'm afraid I'm a bit concerned. A few nights ago, I was the victim of an attempted robbery. That night, 3 initiates fled the chapter. Cassera, Aloran, and Bertrand. I suspect they were somehow involved. They could only have run into the She. Can you find them? Thank you. Find out what happened and I'll be grateful. I'm an experienced sagecrafter. My skills as a mage leave much to be desired, but no one knows stones like I do. You've got to find them. They're somewhere in the She, I'm sure of it. There's 3 of them. Cassera, Bertrand, and Aloran. The finest practitioners of the arcane crafts on the continent can be found within the Order. There are many things we have learned from our time with the Fae, though their magic is quite unlike ours. Don't be a stranger!
All who wish to see Tatarian must go through Olana here. Pretty evening, isn't it?
They send the ruler of the House of Ballads to serve me? What form of unnatural mortal game is this? Why are you here? Me? Well, my seniority dictates that I should be leading this procession, but my lame leg prevents me from taking my rightful place. I should bring up the rear. I will make it to Tatarian's throne, even if I have to crawl. Great Huntress Heartwen should go first, leading us all. She's particularly like that. I would hate to anger her. Of course.
If you need binding, I can provide. What may I do for you, Your Grace? I am always ready to serve the sage-crafting needs of the House of Ballads. This is where those who seek an audience with the Summer Court must first make their claim. And once that claim is honored, I will prepare them for reception. The Fae fulfill roles in the telling, be it king or steward. If one wishes to ascend the heavens, one must abide by the laws of nature. Your kind has tried for so long to gain access to this sacred place, to be near us. Yet here you all are, and I rarely see a single mortal in the understyle. What do they fear, I wonder? I am the attendant of the court's list, and the lady of receivership. I am trained in all aspects of courtly customs and stand 12th closest advisor to the High King. Do visit me again.
How are you this evening?
All must follow the peace edict.
You feel it, don't you? Anyone intimate with the ways of magic can detect the waning current. You're like me, Your Grace. You see the end. Is this how it happened at the House of Ballads? Did Hallam foresee this slow decay? I had a feeling he did. Of the Gardens of Issa? Of the Summer Court? Why, this crystal war may be the end of all Fae. I know because I am Nomeron, master of the font, the wellspring of all Summer Court magic. I've seen it flow at its highest, but I've never seen it so dry. Something must be done before all this city withers into nothingness. The font is the source of all Summer Court magic. It has flowed through this mountainside since our kind sprang up from the dirt. That flow has waned in recent days. It's unnatural, even as the magic in the world grows. The Fae, it seems, will wither. The font's flow is controlled from the Lyceum Grove down below. We must open the root system and allow more water through. However, the magic that regulates this flow can only be used by some. It's protected by a ward known as the Waterlock. It can only be opened by one who carries drops from each of the 5 sacred pools surrounding Issa. Collect these drops, and you can break the Waterlock. As it is in every season, this family of Summer Fae has communed at the feet of its greatest leader, the High King Tatarian. The Western Faelands are our domain. Every season, one is chosen to attend the font's magical flow, to act as ambassador. I'm the only Fae to have held the position more than once. I feel the strength of the currents. They wash through me. They rise up and overflow. However, their power weakens. Their cool waters recede. It has been located here for many of your generations, what we call seasons. Only in recent times has it been shaped to resemble one of your mortal cities. The Summer Court resides on the highest terrace, far above the rest of us. As while wise and powerful, he's also brash and narrow. A sliver of light in a world so dark that most of us are blind. His inaction is no match for mortal ambition. The sacred pools are the collection points for the font's yield. Together, they cradle the Gardens of Issa. Keep it safe, powerful and hidden. You will find 2 of the pools below in the gardens themselves. One near the Ballad Sanctuary, and one in the Court of Summer itself. It is the source of summer court magic and touches our realm of origin, the land of Ashara. Without its constant flow, our kind would dry up like leaves and vanish. Most mortals know nothing of what lies beyond the veil. The magical realm of Ashara. It is a mystery even to us, as we departed its shores many seasons ago. Collect water from each of the 5 sacred pools, and then go to the Lyceum Grove. This is where the roots can be opened to regulate the font's flow. Goodbye.
I am the great huntress Hartwan, and you are not allowed on the trellis. What brings you here, beautiful? How quaint. Well, I am the most respected and most deserved to lead. Besides, I detest that harlot, Warlord Winry. So it is only right I meet the High King before her. Every one of our kind has a gift, they say, a role in the telling. Mine is to seek harmony with nature by keeping the wild fae under control. I am the Reaper. Most of my seasons are spent in the shadows of the canopy, tracking my prey. I have come to the Gardens of Issa to report the decay of wild fae. They are disappearing, and the king must be informed. Either they are vanishing due to the decline in fae magic, or someone is hunting them. It's my duty to discover which story is true. The trellis was created as common ground where the members of the great houses may meet to share knowledge and search for answers. However, it's not been the same since the House of Valor fell and the House of Seasons was deserted. And I always thought that nothing changes. The House of Seasons was where those in tune with the Great Cycle went to understand its many mysteries. But the Great House now stands empty, its occupants gone. King Titarian will not speak of it, but I know something has happened. Whatever it is, the signs are ominous. Growth is violent, and nothing can reach fruition without surviving conflict. That is nature's way. Our House of Valor celebrated that conflict. Now, however, this great house has fallen to mortals such as you. That is why this sanctuary has withered and faded. The magic is gone. Goodbye.
Lady Hartran waits and waits, but will the High King ever see her? That's the question. They have a history, you know.
Mortals are such passionate things.
Keep all of your weapons sheathed.
Yes? Welcome to the Gardens, mortal. But you have not come to visit the city, nor to speak with me. You are here on much graver errands. I can help you divine the role you will play in coming events, and the skills needed to finish that journey. We are a special breed, but you know that already. I am only a visitor here like you. Perhaps I was drawn to this place by something greater than myself. Perhaps it was you. This is where the Fae of Issa fulfill their roles in the telling. You mortals call it work, but we see it as following the cycle, letting our nature guide us. Farewell.
Yes, mortal?
Good evening.
Evening.
My liege. So, you're done. A right group of snakes, eh? So, any insight into how I should present them so as not to tug their writhing tails? It's good that someone does. Go on. Let's line up these backstabbing serpents. Yes, yes. Of course. And then? All right. Next. Yes, yes. Excellent. That's a perfect order for these fools. Saves me the trouble of talking to them. Thank you. Goodbye, Your Grace.
Do you have business with the Varani? I am Ambassador...
enjoying the city? The tavern is always open.
Hello there.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the great font of Isa. May the cycle keep you.
You've done well, Child of the Dust. Those below will never know what is really happening. But in the end, is this a part of the many seasons or the sudden tempest? Does hiding the rot not spoil the harvest, no? Take this. You're brave. Perhaps we will meet again. May your gods protect you, mortal.
What is it?
Please, you have nothing to fear in his mind. He has entered a reverie. It will allow him to unravel the memories and visions contained within the Codex. Step forward, and His Majesty will reveal what you wish.
I heard about Haxi. Impressive work.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers. Treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new, and you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you? The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. That is how I understand it now. You are intertwined with the power in Alabastra. There can be no doubt of that. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer, and the fate of this world. I thank you, and perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness. Admirable, but strength of will cannot see you through this alone. You may be unbound by fate, but you are not free from death. Speak with your allies. Only with their aid can you hope to overcome the forces that stand against you. The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece, the edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original? It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. The Summer and Winter Courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fae who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismere upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family. Dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost.
Respect the Court of Summer.
Surely I cannot question the wisdom of the High King, but neither can I fathom it. My deepest apologies.
Who would have thought you were so interesting? Death seems to have worked out very well for you. Agarth's looking for escape, Neuralim's looking for a savior, and Tatarian is looking for a champion, and somehow, you're giving everyone what they want. I'm impressed. You're right. This won't be easy. The Tuatha have our forces under siege at Mel Senshir, and their power has only grown over the years. You'll need more help than just me and that old Fate Weaver. You'll need an army. A few years ago, one warrior could have slipped past unnoticed, but stealth is no longer an option, not even for me. But there is hope. In the plains of Erethel there waits a player who has been away from this game for far too long. It is time to contact General Telera. Meet me in the village of Emer, and I will tell you everything. General Telera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan, but a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs. Be on your way.
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours. Old Fomerus Hughes, of course. If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes. All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes. You're not the only one on the hunt for Hughes. Octien has followed his trail to the Hollowlands in Detir. You'll want to talk to him.
Welcome to the Trellis. Just look at the House of Valor, the crumpled husk of its former self. Is this the fate of all our kind? To be wrung in the hands of the mortal world, to wither and fade? Farewell, young...
My experience with you has convinced me that fell persons, while slightly stupid and aggravating, are not completely useless. Hello. My place is prowling the Feylands in search of a worthy challenge. Not here petitioning fools about issues that do not concern me. You fell persons are ignorant, aren't you? The Great Cycle is what gives balance between the eternal conflict of growth and decay. When every as long as the Great Cycle persists, this world we share may continue to refine itself on a path to perfection. We adore him in every guise, yet he has a wistfulness that I do not understand. There is no fire in him, only a peaceful pool that goes deeper than any of us realize. There is no more important nature than that which lusts for battle. Creation and destruction are sisters in the Great Cycle, both necessary to maintain the balance. I am the flame that blackens the dirt, the smoke that blocks the sun. My time in the Withering War was my finest hour, but those seasons are long past now. Hello, friend. That would be interesting, wouldn't it, if I called you friend? I've never had a fell friend before. The Summer Court would not stand for the mortal ambitions of Own, King of the Winter Court. So we burned him, as we burn a dying forest in need of mercy.
I am very pleased to see you again. Mortals, such fascinating things. Yes, you. You are fascinating. All those who come to greet the king must first be granted permission. You mortals are talented at fighting what is natural. Perhaps this is your influence. I have heard he is a noble spirit, a beacon of wisdom and calm in this changing world. I will never know for certain if this is true, unless I look upon him directly. I have done little in my many seasons, then venture to this place and attempt to gain an audience with King Teterian. I have yet to succeed, but I keep coming.
Oh, why must you keep bothering me? My audience with the king could begin at any time. They make up the most powerful body in the world, especially now that the mortal races have become embroiled in conflict. A second spring is coming, mark my words. I remember a cycle, a great many seasons, when your kind did not trample the gardens of Issa. This city was the ideal in those times. It is forever tainted now. I spent many seasons wandering the wood of the She, acquiring the knowledge necessary to better serve the Summer Court. But does Teterian care? Never. Such groveling is beneath me. Such spectacles of royalty and procedure. I may be able to wait an eternity for an audience, but the untended garden grows wild. He is the most beautiful of us, a being of absolute perfection. It is a shame he must grace the mortal realm in a physical form. His true brilliance is beyond you.
Isn't it?
Good. You've come. I'm sorry to make you wait like this, but what I mean to discuss is very sensitive. It involves treachery. She is no politician. She is a warlord, and a cruel one. I've heard stories that would make your heart brittle. She was sent here for one reason alone, to bring down Issa. Despite the calm you see around you, the gardens of Issa are on the brink of war, and the question is, which one will it be? There are plans being made to seize this city. The Varani are displeased with the Court of Summer's lack of support for their people, and they wish to overthrow Teterian and force the remaining Fae to fight. We can prevent this, but we must act now. If saving your people isn't enough, we can pay you as a reward. The Varani cannot stomach Tartarean's neutrality. They believe that his Fae subjects could be convinced to march with us on the battlefield. I believe this as well, but I would never resort violence. The Varani wish to turn Issa into a military camp. We cannot let that happen. It will ruin all our people have achieved here. Of course, it is the right thing to do. The leader of the plot is the Varani ambassador, Kierna Brenner. Every night, the ambassador strolls Memory Walk, alone. She carries a pair of daggers. Take them. Afterwards, dispose of them. Destroy them. Salvage them. I don't care. Return to me when it is done. The Varani communicate secretly using weapons. They engrave codes into the blades of daggers and swords, and that way, they can get them through a typical search. We believe this particular pair of daggers describes the defenses of Issa, where it's strong and where it's weak. The Varani are plotting, and they will act. She spends most of her time in the embassy, but in the evenings, she enjoys a leisurely stroll through... Goodbye.
Good evening.
You need a drink.
What do you want? Do you have business with the Varani in the Gardens of Issa? If so, then you must speak with me, Kierna Brenner. This is not a life I chose, here in this fetid swamp of a city. I was raised on the sea, an adventurer and warrior. I survived, and that made me what you see before you. She's a disgrace to your people, and I find it hard to believe the Alfar couldn't find a stronger person for such an important position. You must mean Keen and her cohorts in the embassy. Lapdogs, all of them. They don't appreciate... This plot interests you. Listen, Ambassador Keen tries to stop me, but she can only do so while she lives and breathes. You can help me put an end to that. Fine, but you are playing this game for the weaker side. If Keen wants to stop us, she will send someone, and when they come, I will be ready.
war's out there, friend.
Hey, is it just me? Or does the water level...
Welcome. We must not be seen in fellowship. Goodbye.
What do you want? Do you have business with the... This is not a life I chose. She's a disgrace to your people. You must... This plot interests you. Listen. And fine.
Off to play some hexes.
There's... Our days are hard.
Presenting the blade in the shadow. His great...
Need anything? I've got the best. Good to see you again. If there's anything you need, just ask. Come back again.
Welcome. Let us never speak of this again. I don't know you. I don't like you. And I hope I never see you again. Take this gold and these supplies. Such items are hard to come by in wartime. This is where we part.
Taste my blade. Please for me
Among echoes of golden coasts and silver seas, Lyria drew near. She saw the priestess asleep, reclined on dark earth amidst the cypress trees. Under the gleam of heaven's dusk reflected, the mirror that tantalized the stars, Lyria whispered to Tyrion, "On rocky spur of sable stone shall heaven's mount prove, is a seat of elegance near kin, a shard of night to glisten in the foam, a spire from the seabed to drip from the sky's veil. There will your people be closest to my voice." And so awoke Beala Tyrion, the calm and majestic, to see the cliffs against the coast, and Lyria's throne before her.
Greetings. Please,
You
make yourself
again.
at home. It's the least we can do for you.
There was another named Own. This name was to be feared. The name is death, decay, and violence. A cold and fading moment. A mind not of misery in the few leaves of winter. A suit of armor beneath which lay a void. Where Issa's vision was of cultured landscapes, his was of the choking weeds. Own's reach devoured the land. The winter approached.
Greetings.
I can't believe I made it out alive. I can't believe, after knowing my family all this time, he killed them. I've lost the stomach for these woods. Just when you thought the people in town were all you could trust. But Carter is gone. I have to remember, for the longest time, I thought I would put it behind me, try to pick up the pieces and keep, but it can't be escaped. There's some things in this world you can't run from. Farewell.
Can't stop now. It's good to keep working. It reminds me that I'm still alive. Keep safe.
We've still a now. What? Is it that I can do for you? Widow, spare you.
They took him to a ruin beyond that fork in the road. I have no idea what they're speaking of. Thank you so much. The Fae took him through the... I hardly know where we are, let alone what... I've heard that these wilds are the last place in Detir to find the Fae undisturbed. I'm a seamstress, an excellent... Please, my husband needs help. I can't... We were just trying to pass. We had stopped so he could catch his breath when the Fae came. They took him past the barrier to the south, and I...